Good evening, my villainous Vector Raptors. There's no such thing as a coincidence, and Zenless Zone Zero is no exception. They're hiding an insidious villain arc in plain sight, but what does that mean for Phaethon? Will they achieve their goal of proving their teacher's innocence? Well, it's difficult to ignore the plot twist the writers are setting up. I think she's actually the mastermind behind TOPS. Now that season 1 has wrapped up, I can stop calling this a half-baked theory and show you how I came to this conclusion. For a quick recap, 11 years before the current story, Belle and Wise were living at Helios Academy after they were orphaned by a hollow disaster. They started researching the hollows under Carole Arna, who developed the HDD and EOS. She saved their lives during the fall of the old capital, but did not escape herself. She is the one officially responsible for that disaster. At the end of Chapter 5, we learn that one of the monstrous hands took her away through a hollow fissure, and that she may not be dead. A compelling plot twist hinges on a series of unbroken promises that are best enjoyed the next time you visit a story. The writers and artists behind ZZZ are meticulous about implementing this technique. Every narrative arc plot twist has consistently adhered to this rule. If they can regain their momentum, the plot twist they're cooking up for Phaethon has the potential to etch itself into gacha history. Starting with the HDD symbol. Before the main characters get fairy, we see the icon for the HDD as 2 triangles. This is similar to the TOPS symbol, and after Carole Arna disappeared, the HDD and EOS were in the TOPS vault. The pattern on the HDD loading screen also shows the triangle motif of the hollows in a heliacal shape, implying the hollows are made with a DNA-like structure. We can also look at EOS's design. The 5 stars on the left ear could represent the 4 monsters and the creator. The X's on the arms compared to Sarah's motif of the 2 triangles is too close for comfort. It can't be a coincidence. Speaking of EOS, I would like to point out that the main character's point of view while piloting it is a first-person perspective, and their eye implants are how they're able to do that. Just coincidentally, they glow blue, and so does Fairy's symbol, a glowing blue eye. In Chapter 4, we learn that Carole Arna is officially responsible for the hollow disaster that caused the new Eridu government to detonate all 14 Shiyu pillars. Even though Belle and Wise believe her to be innocent, we learn in Chapter 5 that she was taken away by one of the monstrous hands that accompanied Bringer. Not attacked by it, though. We also know that Bringer knew about Carole Arna's students and Phaethon as separate entities, but discovered that they are the same people at the end of Chapter 5 on screen. The last promise we have up to Chapter 5 is that we have never seen glass being corrupted, and several times she has incorporated glass into her technology, whether it's to protect it or making it an integral part of it. There is a significant amount of foreshadowing for this plot twist. I often use this term, but I genuinely believe that any ongoing story will heavily rely on this storytelling technique. It's a delightful way to engage an audience at every level. Speculating about plotlines is one of my favorite ways to have fun with a story, and you wouldn't be here if you didn't share my enthusiasm. Let's start with the direct foreshadowing. In Anby's discussion with Billy and Blade and Pistols during the prologue, she describes the Season 1 climax through the guise of a movie she recently watched.
It was only thanks to a courageous investigator who gave his life to drive the monster back into the hollow that the danger was averted.
Come on, the ethereal would be done for the minute it left the hollow. Wait, isn't that the plot of that movie that was in theaters not long ago?
There was a long list of victims involved in the incident. I read all their names.
That's called a cast list!
Question: who would you most like to have dinner with?
We see Macbeth-style foreshadowing in the scene with in the end, it all comes down to this crazy vision that the main character has, and in the monologue, user agreement that Fairy gives them, and the ending line of "Together we will make new Eridu."
I agree.
The license agreement has been signed. I am happy to be of service. Together, we will make new Eridu.
What a surprise! One of the keys has already been activated.
Oh, really? Which one? Ghost? Genie? Yokai?
No, it's fairy.
Ooh, things are about to get interesting.
Moving on to indirect foreshadowing, we see a pre-scene in Harumasa's agent story. We learn that his mentor is doing inhumane experimentation on him and other displaced orphans with ether aptitude regression syndrome. This is probably a piece of foreshadowing to show us that Carole Arna had been testing technology that she developed on Belle and Wise and other classmates. It's heartbreaking, and I do think that this will be the climax of season 2, especially with how we're leading up to getting to Hollow Zero and to Helios Academy. And before I forget to talk about it, I would like to point out that the HDD never tries to take back control, they only assist Fairy. We also have to look at the original voice of the HDD because it sounds like someone we know.
Visible space successfully loaded. Objective: collect hollow observation data.
This level of security was unexpected. Stay alert. We have read-only access to surface files. Hollow traits. An all-devouring disaster with chaotic space, monsters, and etheric matter.
We can't have a healthy whodunit without a few red herrings. It's clear the main character's goal is to prove Carole Arna's innocence because they feel they are responsible for the hollow outbreak preceding the detonation of the Shiyu pillars in some way. We also have Miyabi, who feels their deep sense of guilt, and her dialogue consistently shows that she knows more than she leads on. But I do think this is a misdirection because I think she knows something that they don't, that Carole Arna was connected to TOPS.
I know this is hard to believe, but I swear it's true. We've been trying to find out what really happened. With your help, I'm sure we can find the real culprit. Miss Miyabi, would you be willing to continue working with us?
Take this. It's a token proving you're under the protection of the Hoshimi family. Even if you're proxies, you're my proxies.
Does that mean you believe us about the fall of the old capital?
The real story behind the old capital's fall could be far more complicated than we understand. Whether there are hidden truths or not, we have a lot of investigating to do. But at least, we're partners, seeking answers together. Don't worry, our conversation was not monitored, but you should probably leave now. I need to talk to those who are watching you, or they might come after you again.
You really don't mind that we're students of the guilty?
Eradicate all evil. As for what is evil, I'll determine that myself.
And then there's Miss Sarah, and TOPS is a front for an insidious cult. It's clear that the group behind the TOPS Alliance is full of overzealous followers. They worship a creator, and one of the few characters in the story with the ability to make superhuman-like modifications to humans is Carole Arna. So do you think Astra Yao had to get the eye implants too, or is she using a VR headset to pilot Snap? How much of her technology does TOPS have? And what are they really doing with it? So, my villainous Vector Raptors, I would like to wish you a wonderful evening because part 2 will include all of the foundational literature, pulled quotes, and history. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. I hope your holidays were absolutely phenomenal. And finally, oh yeah, I think you need to subscribe. You watched this far, so you like have to subscribe or something, right? Thank you so much. See you in the next one.